Captain Adam Torres looked at the screen in front of him. His ship, the Stellar Pioneer, was far from Earth. They were in a place called the Kuiper Belt, where chunks of ice and rock float in space. The ship's engines hummed quietly as they moved, through the dark. "Sir, I'm getting strange readings," said Dr. Lisa Kumar. She was the ship's expert on alien things. "There's something out there. It's not ice or rock." Adam walked over to her station. The screen showed waves of energy coming from something far away. The pattern was not natural. "What do you think it is?" Lisa touched the screen. "I think it's artificial, made by someone, but not us." Ryan Brooks, the chief engineer, heard them talking. "You mean aliens?" "Maybe," Lisa said. "The energy signature doesn't match anything in our database." Adam made a decision. "Let's go check it out. Plot a course." The ship turned and headed toward the mysterious signal. As they got closer, they could see something on their main screen. It was small, about the size of a car. It looked like metal but covered in symbols they had never seen before. "It's a probe," Lisa said. "Very old but still active." "How old?" Adam asked. "Based on the metal degradation, thousands of years, maybe tens of thousands." The crew looked at each other. Earth's oldest technology was only a few thousand years old. This thing was ancient. "Can we bring it aboard?" Adam asked Ryan. "Sure. I'll use the retrieval arm." Soon the strange object was in their cargo bay. The team gathered around it. The probe was covered in symbols that looked like writing. Energy still pulsed through it, making it glow softly. Lisa ran her scanners over it. "This is incredible. The metal alloy doesn't exist in our periodic table. And look at these symbols, they're mathematical." "Can you read them?" Adam asked. "I can try. Give me a few hours." Hours turned into days. Lisa worked with Ryan and the ship's computer to decode the symbols. Finally, she called everyone to the main conference room. "I've got something," she announced. "The probe is a message, a very old message, and you're not going to believe what it says." She put the decoded text on the screen. Everyone read in silence. "To any species discovering this beacon, by unanimous decree of the Galactic Predator Council, the solar system containing the third planet is hereby declared off limits. Any species attempting to enter Earth's orbit will be destroyed immediately. This treaty is binding for all apex predators across 12 galaxies. Violation means death. End of message." The room was quiet. Then everyone started talking at once. "Apex predators? 12 galaxies? Earth is protected? By aliens?" Adam held up his hand for silence. "When was this message sent?" Lisa checked her readings. "The probe's internal clock suggests approximately 50,000 years ago." "That's impossible," Ryan said. "Humans were still living in caves 50,000 years ago." "That's what I thought too," Lisa agreed. "But look at this." She showed them more symbols. "The probe has detailed information about Earth. Very detailed. They knew about our planet's surface, our oceans, even our gravity." Dr. Jake Morrison, the ship's biologist, spoke up. "If they knew about Earth that long ago, why protect it? We weren't even civilized yet." "That's the real question," Adam said. "Why would these apex predators care about protecting Earth?" Lisa continued to work on the probe. Over the next week, she found more information. The probe contained star charts showing the locations of 12 different galaxies. Each one had a symbol next to it, probably representing the different predator. "Species, Captain," she called one morning. "I found something else. The probe has a response function." "What do you mean?" "It's not just a warning. It's also a monitoring device. It's been sending reports back to whoever made it. Every year for 50,000 years. The implications hit everyone hard. They had been watched. Earth had been watched for tens of thousands of years by creatures from 12 different galaxies." "Are they still watching?" Adam asked. Lisa nodded slowly. "The probe is active, and now that we've accessed it..." She paused. "I think it sent a message." "Where?" "To them. To the Galactic Predator Council. It told them we found it." The ship suddenly felt very small. Adam looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there in 12 different galaxies, creatures powerful enough to patrol the entire universe had just learned that humans had discovered their secret. "What do we do now?" Ryan asked. Adam took a deep breath. "We go home, and we warn Earth, because I have a feeling they're coming." Dr. Morrison was still studying the star charts. "Captain, there's something else. According to this data, these predator species, they're not just powerful. The probe describes them as ultimate evolutionary endpoints, perfect hunters, perfect killers. And they all agreed to protect Earth," Lisa added. "Together. Species that probably hate each other, working together to keep everyone away from our planet." "Why?" Adam wondered aloud. The probe pulsed once more, and new text appeared on the screen. "Protection ends when the children of Terra reach the stars." They had reached the stars. The protection was over. On their journey back to Earth, the crew of the Stellar Pioneer tried to make sense of what they had found. The universe was not empty. It was full of predators so terrifying that 12 galaxies couldn't handle them. Yet these same predators had decided to protect Earth. As Earth appeared on their screens, growing larger by the day, Adam Torres knew their lives were about to change forever. Humanity wasn't alone. They never had been alone. But the truth was stranger than any science fiction story. Earth had been a protected planet. Now that protection was gone, and somewhere in the dark between the stars, ancient predators were preparing to meet their long-watched children for the first time. The Stellar Pioneer docked at the orbital station above Earth 3 days later. As Adam stepped off his ship, he carried not just samples and data, but news that would shake human civilization to its core. The universe was watching. It always had been. And now, it wanted to meet them. Colonel Steve Martinez sat in his office at the Global Defense Command. The report on his desk seemed like science fiction, an alien probe, hidden watchers, Earth protected for 50,000 years. But the evidence was real, too real. "Send in the team," he told his secretary. 5 people walked into the room. They were the best Earth had to offer. Dr. Emma Wright was a biologist who studied how life changes over time. Dr. Maya Johnson used computers to map the Earth's underground. Dr. Ben Carter was a historian who looked for very old things. Dr. Sarah Lee examined rocks and soil, and Dr. Mike Barnes studied space and stars. "You've all read the report," Steve said. "What are your thoughts?" Emma spoke first. "If this is true, it changes everything we know about human history. Why would aliens care about Earth 50,000 years ago? We were just starting to make stone tools." "Unless they knew something we don't," Mike suggested. "Maybe they saw potential in us, or maybe there's something special about Earth itself." Maya was looking at her tablet. "I've been checking the coordinates from the probe. They point to specific locations on Earth. Underground locations." "What kind of locations?" Steve asked. "Deep underground structures. Very deep. I think these might be the observation posts the probe mentioned." Ben leaned forward. "Observation posts would explain a lot. Ancient aliens watching us, recording our progress." Steve made a decision. "We need to find one. Can you pinpoint a exact location?" Maya nodded. "Yes, there's one in the Amazon rainforest. The coordinates are very precise." 2 weeks later, the team stood in the middle of the Amazon jungle. The heat was intense. Insects buzzed everywhere, but their equipment showed something massive underground. "It's 200 feet down," Maya said, checking her scanners. "Made of the same metal as the probe." They set up drilling equipment. It took 3 days to reach the right depth. When they did, they found a smooth metal door covered in the same symbols. Lisa Kumar had come with them from the Stellar Pioneer. She ran her fingers over the symbols. "These are instructions. How to open it." The door slid open with a quiet hiss. Inside was a room full of screens and machines. Everything was still working after thousands of years. "My God," Ben whispered. "It's like a command center." The screens showed Earth from space, different views from different times. They could see continents that no longer existed, ice ages coming and going, early humans hunting and gathering. "Look at this," Mike called from another console. He had activated a screen showing star charts. 12 galaxies were marked. Each had a strange symbol. Emma found something else. These machines are monitoring Earth's biology, every species, every change. And they're especially focused on one thing. What? Steve asked. Humans. Our DNA. Our development. It's like they were watching us grow up. Sarah discovered storage units filled with samples, soil, water, plants, and even preserved biological material. They were collecting data constantly for tens of thousands of years. Maya found the most disturbing thing, a communication log. They weren't just watching, she said. They were reporting, sending information back to those 12 galaxies, every month for 50,000 years. Steve looked around the room. But why? Why watch us so carefully? Lisa was still working on the main console. I think I found something. A message. From them. She activated a screen. Text appeared in English. The translation software had learned their language. Children of Terra, if you read this, you have reached technological maturity. We are the Galactic Predator Council. 12 species, 12 galaxies. We have watched your world since your son was young. We protected you while you grew. Now you must know the truth. What truth? Steve asked, though no one could answer. The message continued. Your development was not random. Your evolution was guided. Your DNA carries the mark of 12 species. You are more than you know. Emma stared at the screen. Are they saying they changed our evolution? More text appeared. Human potential exceeds all projections. You adapt. You learn. You overcome. These traits were selected, enhanced, protected. Earth was your nursery. The galaxy awaits its children. The team exchanged worried looks. Ben spoke what everyone was thinking. They created us? Lisa kept reading. Not created. Guided, enhanced. They took what was naturally here and helped it grow in specific directions. More files opened automatically. Video files. The screens showed the 12 species. Each one was terrifying. One looked like a massive spider made of metal. Another was a creature of pure energy. A third was something between a shark and a bear, but the size of a building. These are the apex predators, Mike said. The ones who agreed to protect Earth. The video showed them meeting. A council of monsters. They were signing some kind of agreement. The date showed 50,000 years ago. Sarah watched the video. They're working together. Natural enemies cooperating to protect Earth. Protect their experiment, Emma corrected. We're their experiment. More information flooded the screens. Human genetic markers compared to alien DNA. Strengths and abilities mapped over millennia. Projections of human development that stretched into the future. Maya looked at the development timeline. According to this, we're right on schedule. They predicted when we'd develop spaceflight, when we'd find the probe, when we'd discover these sites. So they're expecting us? Steve asked. A new message appeared. Activation of this site has alerted the Council. First contact protocols initiated. Expect arrival in Earth solar system within 1 Earth year. Prepare. The room fell silent. 1 year. They had 1 year before. The alien predators would arrive. Back at Global Defense Command, Steve compiled the report. The evidence was overwhelming. Humans weren't just another species that evolved randomly. They were the product of alien interference, alien interest, alien protection. We need to tell the world, Emma said during the debriefing. We need to prepare the world, Steve corrected. These aliens aren't coming to destroy us. According to their own data, we're their project, their creation. But that doesn't mean they're friendly. Lisa pulled up more data from the Amazon site. Look at this. They've been collecting information about our weapons, our military, our governments. They know everything about us. And we know nothing about them, Ben added, except that they're powerful enough to patrol 12 galaxies. Maya was working on her computer. I've found more sites. Underground installations on every continent. We could visit them all, learn more. Steve nodded. Do it. We need as much information as possible before they arrive, and we need to decide what to tell the public. The truth, Emma said immediately. The truth might cause panic, Mike warned. Hiding it might cause war, Sarah argued. When those ships appear in our sky, we'll have a lot of explaining to do. Steve looked out the window at the Earth below. Billions of people living their lives unaware that they were part of an alien experiment. Unaware that their protectors were about to arrive. We tell the truth, he decided. But gradually. Start with the scientific community, then governments, then everyone. We have 1 year to prepare humanity for the biggest change in our history. As the team left his office, Steve looked at the report again. One line kept repeating in his mind. Human potential exceeds all projections. Whatever happened when the aliens arrived, humans would face it as they always had. By adapting. By learning. By overcoming. But this time, they wouldn't be alone. This time, they'd meet their creators face to face. Dr. Nathan Harris looked at the DNA results for the 100th time. The lab was quiet except for the humming of machines. His team had been working non-stop for 6 months since finding the Amazon site. What they discovered would change everything. Are you absolutely sure? Asked Dr. Emily Chen, his lead researcher. She had been with him since the beginning. I've run the tests 40 times, Nathan said. The results are always the same. Human DNA contains genetic sequences that match 12 different alien species, not similar to, exact matches. Emily sat down heavily. But that's impossible. We evolved here on Earth. Did we? Nathan turned the computer screen toward her. Look at this. These genetic markers. They're not naturally occurring. They were inserted. Deliberately. Dr. David Blair entered the lab. He was the team's expert on genetics and evolution. What's the status? Nathan showed him the data. We've found evidence that human DNA was modified on a massive scale, about 500,000 years ago, then again at 300,000 years, and one final time at 50,000 years ago. The same time frame as the alien probe, Emily noted. Exactly, Nathan confirmed. Each modification added new sequences, new abilities, enhanced intelligence, better adaptability, improved immune systems. David studied the charts. These changes couldn't happen naturally. Evolution doesn't work this fast. Someone helped evolution along, Nathan said simply. They had discovered this while testing samples from the Amazon site. The alien machines had detailed records of human development. More importantly, they had the blueprint, the exact genetic plan used to create modern humans. We're hybrids, Emily said quietly. Part alien, part Earth primate. More than hybrids, Nathan corrected. We're a designed species. The aliens took the best traits from 12 different predator species and combined them with early human genetics. The implications were staggering. Humans weren't just another evolved species. They were created, engineered, a project that took hundreds of thousands of years to complete. Nathan's work was interrupted when Commander Julia Davis arrived. She was leading the space mission to activate the monitoring stations in orbit around Earth. Dr. Harris, she said, we're ready to activate the orbital station. We need your input on the biological data uplink. I'm coming, Nathan said. He turned to his team. Continue the analysis. I want to know exactly which abilities came from which alien species. 3 days later, Commander Davis's team reached the orbital station. It was hidden behind the moon, practically invisible to Earth-based telescopes. When they activated it, the entire structure came to life. The main control room was massive. Screens covered every wall. Each screen showed different views of Earth, from across thousands of years. The technology was beyond anything humans had created. Doctor, look at this, called Lieutenant Mark Rivera. He had found a biological database. It has records of every human who ever lived, every birth, every death, complete genetic profiles. Nathan accessed the database. The information was overwhelming. The aliens had been tracking human development at the individual level for tens of thousands of years. They were watching us. Grow up, he murmured. Like parents watching their children. Julia found the communication systems. Doctor, I think we can access the messages from the 12 species, the ones mentioned in the original probe. Nathan joined her at the console. With Lisa Kumar's help, they activated the message archive. The screen filled with text from 12 different languages. The translation system worked automatically. First message from the Crix of the Spiral Galaxy. Project Terra shows promising results. The hybrid offspring demonstrate exceptional adaptability. Continue protection protocols. Second message from the Void Hunters of Andromeda. Human aggression levels remain within acceptable parameters. Their ability to form complex social structures exceeds projections. Third message from the Crystal Mines of the Whirlpool Galaxy. Intelligence quotient growth rate extraordinary. They solve problems in ways we did not anticipate. The messages continued. 12 different species, reporting on human progress like proud parents. But there was more than just pride. There was concern. Look at this, Emily said. She had found a section labeled Concerns and Warnings. From the Devourers of the Pinwheel Galaxy, human reproduction rate may lead to overpopulation. Monitor environmental impact. From the Shadow Hunters of the Triangulum Galaxy, human weapon development accelerating, may pose threat to other species if unchecked. From the Stormbringers of the Sombrero Galaxy, human curiosity drives them to explore. They will eventually discover us. First contact protocols must be prepared. Julia found personal recordings from each species. When she activated them, the screens showed the aliens speaking directly to the camera. Each message was addressed to humanity. The first alien appeared on screen. It looked like a spider made of living glass. Its voice was translated into English. Children of Terra, I am Zethra, first voice of the Crix. If you are watching this, you have reached the designated development level. You must know the truth about your origins. The message continued. 500,000 Earth years ago, we discovered your world. Its potential was unlike anything in 12 galaxies. We made a decision that has never been made before or since. We would create the ultimate predator, not through war or conquest, but through careful guidance and genetic enhancement. Another alien appeared. This one was pure energy contained in a mechanical shell. I am Volthak of the Void Hunters. We gave you our adaptability. Your ability to survive in any environment comes from us. A third alien resembling a massive crystalline brain. I am Zendar of the Crystal Mines. We gave you enhanced intelligence. Your ability to solve complex problems and create tools beyond your apparent technological level. The messages continued. Each alien species explaining what they had contributed to human development. Strength from one, speed from another, enhanced, senses, emotional control, strategic thinking, social bonding abilities. We used our best traits, said the 12th alien, a creature of smoke and shadow, and combined them with Earth's unique biological foundation. You are the children of 12 galaxies. Nathan watched in amazement. They created a biological masterpiece, taking the best from 12 apex predator species and combining them into one. But why? Julia asked. Another message played. All 12 aliens appeared together this time. They spoke in unison. Because we grew tired of being the only intelligent life in the universe. Because we wanted to see what would happen when you combined the best of 12 species. Because we were curious if something greater than ourselves could be created. The final part of the message made everyone in the station freeze. We succeeded beyond our wildest hopes. You have become more than the sum of our parts. You create art. You show mercy. You sacrifice for others. You love unconditionally. These traits were not programmed. They emerged naturally. You have developed qualities that none of us possess. Individually, we are stronger, faster, smarter than you. But together, you achieve things we cannot. You are our children, but you have already grown beyond us. The protection is now ended, not because we abandon you, but because you no longer need protection. The galaxy awaits its newest apex predators. We await our children with pride and anticipation. The message ended. The station fell silent. Julia looked at Nathan. We're not just aliens. We're their greatest achievement. And their greatest uncertainty, Nathan added. We have traits from 12 of the most dangerous species in the universe. They're proud of us, but they're also wondering what we'll do with these abilities. Emily pulled up the final piece of data. Look at this, it's a timeline. First contact is scheduled for exactly 1 year after we activated the probe. That's in 6 months. The revelation was complete. Humanity wasn't just protected by aliens. They were created by aliens. The children of 12 galaxies, raised on Earth, now ready to meet their parents. The question wasn't whether the aliens were coming. They were already on their way. The question was, what would happen when the children finally met their creators? Nathan looked out at Earth through the station's windows. Billions of people going about their lives, unaware they were the result of the most ambitious genetic project in galactic history. In 6 months, everything would change. We need to tell them, he said quietly. All of them. They deserve to know what they really are, who their true parents are. The ultimate predators of 12 galaxies, Julia said, created to be even better than their creators. No wonder they watched us so carefully, Nathan concluded. They were watching to see if their experiment would work, if we'd become monsters like them, or something else entirely. The answer was already clear. Humans had become something the aliens never expected, something that combined their strength with uniquely human qualities. The children were about to surpass their parents, and everyone would meet face to face in just 6 months. General Kyle Bennett stood at the command center in Colorado Springs. The day had finally come. 6 months of preparation, 6 months of telling the world the truth, and now massive ships were appearing at the edge of the solar system. Sir, called Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez. We have visual confirmation, 12 vessels, each one the size of Manhattan. The main screen showed them. Ships that defied understanding. One looked like it was made of stars. Another seemed to fold space around itself. A third ship appeared to be alive, breathing and moving like a giant creature. Are they in formation? Kyle asked. Yes, sir. They're maintaining position just beyond Pluto. They're not advancing. This was the moment they had prepared for. Earth had united for the first time in history. Every nation, every military force, every scientist, all working together to meet their creators. Ambassador Helen Garcia was ready. She had been chosen to lead First Contact, a linguist, diplomat, and negotiator. If anyone could talk to aliens, it was her. Sir? Maria continued. We're receiving a transmission. It's in perfect English. Kyle nodded. Put it through. The voice that came through the speakers was like thunder mixed with music. People of Terra, children of 12 galaxies. We are the Galactic Predator. Council, we have returned as promised. Helen stepped forward to respond when the voice continued. Your species has developed beyond expectations, but development is not completion. We require proof that you are ready to join us as equals. What kind of proof? Helen asked into the microphone. 3 trials: combat, intelligence, character. You may select champions to represent your species. If they succeed, humanity takes its place among the apex predators. If they fail, we maintain protection for another 1,000 years. Kyle looked at Helen. They had discussed this possibility. How many champions? 6 individuals, 2 for each trial. Choose wisely. The future of your species depends on their performance. The transmission ended. Kyle called an emergency meeting with world leaders. Within hours, they had to select 6 people to represent all of humanity. 3 days later, the chosen 6 stood in the training facility. Captain Beth Martinez would lead the team. She was Earth's best soldier, winner of every military competition for 5 years running. For combat, Beth had chosen Lieutenant Chris Turner, a Special Forces operative who had never lost a battle simulation, and Sergeant Amy Foster, an expert in close-quarters combat who had survived missions that killed entire teams. For intelligence, they selected Dr. Sam Kelly, a physicist who had solved problems that stumped universities for decades, and Dr. Kara Wilson, a mathematician who could see patterns others missed completely. For character, they chose Father Joe Murray, a priest who had spent 40 years helping people in war zones, and Maria Sanchez, a teacher who had built schools in disaster areas with her own hands. The trials begin tomorrow, Kyle told them. A ship will transport you to the testing grounds. Remember, you represent all of humanity. The alien ship arrived at dawn. It was impossible to describe. Looking at it made eyes hurt. It seemed to exist in more dimensions than 3. When the hatch opened, a ramp extended to the ground. The 6 humans boarded. Inside was equally strange. The walls moved like water. Gravity seemed optional. They were guided to seats that formed around their bodies. First trial location, announced a voice from everywhere and nowhere. Combat simulation. The ship moved faster than light. One moment they were on Earth. The next, they stood on a world, with purple sky and silver sand. Massive arena walls rose around them. Lieutenant Turner, Sergeant Foster, boomed a voice from the sky. Enter the arena. Chris and Amy walked forward. The ground changed, becoming a maze of obstacles. Walls rose and fell. Platforms appeared and disappeared. Your opponents are simulations based on the most dangerous creatures from 12 galaxies. Survive for 1 hour. The first wave appeared. Creatures that shouldn't exist. One had too many teeth and moved like liquid. Another was invisible except for its claws. A third could split into multiple copies of itself. Chris and Amy moved like dancers. Every motion precise. They had trained for this. But the aliens had evolved to be perfect killers. For every creature they defeated, 2 more appeared. Watching from above, the other humans held their breath. Beth saw tactics she had never considered. Chris used the environment itself as a weapon. Amy moved with grace that made lethal creatures miss by inches. After 30 minutes, they were exhausted, but still fighting. The creatures kept coming. Some flying, some burrowing, some phasing through solid matter. 60 minutes, announced the voice. Combat trial complete. Performance exceptional. Chris and Amy collapsed. Medics appeared from nowhere to tend their wounds, but they had survived. They had passed. Intelligence trial, the voice announced. They were transported again. This time to a room filled with impossible puzzles. Mathematics that used symbols no human had seen. Chemistry involving elements that didn't exist. Physics that broke known laws. Sam and Kara approached the challenges. The puzzles were displayed on floating screens. Some required manipulation of 3-dimensional objects. Others needed calculation of scenarios involving multiple universes. Solve any 10 challenges within 2 hours. The 2 humans worked separately and together. Sam tackled the physics problems. His mind worked through calculations that filled entire walls. Kara focused on the pattern recognition. She saw connections between seemingly unrelated symbols. Time ticked away. 9 challenges solved. 1 hour and 50 minutes gone. 10 minutes remaining for the final puzzle. The last challenge appeared. It wasn't a puzzle. It was a question. If your species had the power to destroy another species, under what circumstances would you use it? Sam and Kara looked at each other. This wasn't about intelligence. It was about wisdom. They wrote their answer together. Only if that species threatened the existence of other intelligent life, and only after all peaceful solutions had been exhausted. Time complete. Intelligence trial passed. Solutions showed creativity beyond programming. The final trial. Character. Joe and Maria stood in what appeared to be a courtroom. Screens showed various scenarios. You have the power to save your homeworld, the voice explained, but each salvation requires a sacrifice. Choose. The first scenario, save Earth from a plague, but 1 million people in another galaxy will die. The second, gain unlimited resources for Earth, but enslave a distant alien species. The third, ensure human survival forever, but prevent all other intelligent life from developing in the universe. Joe and Maria discussed each choice. The aliens watched, measuring not just their answers, but their reasoning, their empathy, their willingness to consider others. "We reject all options," Maria finally announced. "Each choice trades others' lives for our benefit. We'll find solutions that save everyone." "Even if it means Earth might suffer?" asked the voice. "Especially then," Joe said. "True character means doing what's right, not what's easy." Silence. Then, character trial complete. Response demonstrates development beyond creator parameters. The 6 humans were returned to Earth. Kyle and the world leaders waited anxiously. Helen prepared for the official response. The communication came quickly. "Trials complete. Results exceed all projections. Humanity demonstrates qualities we designed, but also qualities we never imagined. Compassion, selflessness, creative problem-solving that surpasses logical parameters." The 12 massive ships moved closer to Earth. They formed a circle around the planet, not threatening, but protective. "The Galactic Predator Council hereby recognizes humanity as equals, more than equals. You have become what we are not. Where we rule through strength, you lead through inspiration. Where we survive through dominance, you thrive through cooperation." Kyle felt a weight lift from his shoulders. They had passed. Humanity was accepted, but the aliens weren't finished. "Therefore, we formally request that humanity assume leadership of the Galactic Predator Council. You have exceeded your creators. Guide us as we once guided you." The room fell silent. They hadn't just been tested, they had been promoted. "Do you accept?" asked the alien voice. Helen looked at Kyle. He nodded. She spoke for all humanity. "We accept, but on one condition. We lead not as predators, but as partners. Together we explore the universe. Together we protect developing life. Together we grow." "Agreed," came the unified voice of 12 galaxy-spanning species. "Welcome home, children of the stars. The universe awaits your leadership." Beth Martinez stood with her team, watching the alien ships settle into orbit around Earth. They had not only met the challenge, they had transformed it. Humanity's greatest test had become their greatest triumph. The children had become the teachers, the protected had become the protectors, and the greatest adventure in human history was just beginning. Admiral Jack Washington stood on the bridge of the newly built United Earth vessel, the Galactic Pride. It had been 1 year since the trials, 1 year since humanity had been offered leadership of the Galactic Predator Council. Today, that leadership would be tested. The emergency came from the far edge of the galaxy, a threat unlike anything the 12 species had faced. The message arrived through quantum channels bypassing all known physics. "Admiral," called Commander Lisa Torres, the communications officer. "Priority alert from the Crix homeworld. They're reporting total system failure. Multiple planets going dark." Jack walked to the tactical display. The news was worse than expected. 3 entire solar systems had gone silent in the past hour. No distress calls, no evacuation signals, just silence. "Connect me with the council," Jack ordered. 12 massive faces appeared on the screen, the leaders of the most dangerous species in the universe. But now they looked to humanity for answers. "What do we know?" Jack asked. Zethra of the Crix spoke first. Its crystal body reflected distress in every facet. "Unknown entities consume all matter in their path. They convert biological and technological material into more of themselves. 3 worlds gone in moments." Volthak, the energy being added. "We've faced machines before, but these are different. They learn from every encounter, adapt instantly to new defenses." "Any visual confirmation?" Jack inquired. Shandar, the crystal, brain projected images. Swarms of mechanical creatures, each about the size of a car, moved through space. They dismantled planets methodically, turning everything into more machines. "Classic von Neumann problem," Dr. Emma Wright noted. She now served as Earth's science advisor to the Council. Self-replicating machines, but with predatory behavior. Time until they reach inhabited systems? Jack asked. Jack. At current velocity, calculated Zendar. 2 Earth days. The council chamber fell silent. 12 apex predator species, each having conquered their own galaxy, faced a threat they couldn't handle alone. Humanity's council, requested Zethra. Jack took a deep breath. This was why they had chosen humans to lead. Not for their strength or intelligence alone, but for something else. Something the aliens had engineered but never expected. We fight together, Jack said simply. All 13 species, combined tactics, share all intelligence. The machines learn from each encounter, so we need to think differently than they expect. The Shadowhunter representative materialized. Explain. They're machines. They expect logical responses, military tactics, technology, but humans bring something else. Jack gestured to his crew. Creativity, improvisation, the ability to make connections that pure logic misses. Over the next day, Earth's generals worked with alien commanders. Traditional military doctrine met predator instincts. The result was a battle plan unlike anything in galactic history. Lieutenant Chris Turner, now promoted to colonel after the trials, led the tactical planning. We use the machine's strength against them. They adapt to counter threats. So we give them threats to adapt to, while our real attack comes from directions they can't predict. The battle began at the edge of the galaxy. 12 alien fleets arranged themselves according to the human plan. Earth's ships, though smaller, were positioned strategically throughout the formation. The machine swarm appeared. Millions of self-replicating killers, moving with purpose and terrible efficiency. They immediately began analyzing the alien formations, adapting their patterns. Phase 1, Jack ordered. Standard formations. By the book. The alien fleets attacked conventionally. Energy weapons, kinetic strikes, everything the machines expected. The swarm adapted quickly, shields and armor shifting to counter each weapon. Type. They're learning exactly as predicted, reported Commander Torres. Effectiveness dropping by 30%. Perfect, Jack smiled. Phase 2. Human initiative. Across the battlefield, human creativity took over. Ships changed colors. Unexpectedly. Weapons fired in rhythm with music. Communication laser showed pictures of kittens, nothing harmful but everything confusing. What are they doing? Demanded the Devourer representative. Making noise, Jack explained. The machines are trying to analyze pointless data. It's distracting them. While the machines puzzled over dancing ships and kitten pictures, the real attack began. Amy Foster, now Admiral Foster, led combined human-alien strike teams through cloaked ships. Boarding parties away, Amy reported, targeting core processors. But the machines adapted again. Self-destruction protocols activated as soon as boarders approached. The strike teams had to retreat. They're too adaptable, Volthak observed. They counter every strategy. Not every strategy, Dr. Sam Kelly interrupted. He had been working on something since the crisis began. I analyzed their decision patterns. They adapt based on threat assessment, but they have one limitation. Which is, Jack asked. They can't understand illogical behavior combined with effective tactics. Look, Sam activated a simulation. It showed Earth ships arranging themselves in complex patterns, each one seemingly random but actually highly coordinated. Chaos theory, Maria Sanchez explained. She had been working with Sam. Complete unpredictability, but with underlying, mathematical precision. Jack understood immediately. They'll see chaos and discount the threat level, but will actually be coordinating perfectly. The final phase began. Earth's ships moved like drunken dancers, seemingly random but following a complex algorithm only humans understood. The alien fleets mirrored the movements, trusting human leadership despite the apparent madness. The machine swarm tried to analyze the patterns. Precious microseconds passed. In those moments, the combined fleet struck with surgical precision. At points Sam's calculations identified as critical vulnerabilities. The effect was devastating. The machine hierarchy collapsed. Without central coordination, the individual units returned to basic programming: consume and replicate. But consume what? The strategic targets had been eliminated precisely. They're turning on themselves, Zethra observed with something like wonder, consuming each other for raw materials. Within hours, the threat was eliminated. The remaining machines had cannibalized themselves into inoperative scrap. The council chamber reconvened. 12 alien species looked at their human leaders with newfound respect. You combined chaos with precision, the Stormbringer noted. Illogical with logical. Something we never imagined. It worked because we worked together, Jack emphasized. Your strength, our creativity. The perfect combination. Zendar processed data streams. Analysis confirms humanity's leadership enhanced council effectiveness by 847%. The experiment exceeded all projections. We're not an experiment anymore, Jack said quietly. We're a family. The aliens processed this concept. Slowly, understanding dawned. The Crix's crystal body shifted colors in what might have been a smile. Family. Yes, the children teach the parents. In the months that followed, the Galactic Predator Council transformed. Under human guidance, they shifted from individual apex predators to a cooperative alliance. Exploration replaced conquest. Protection replaced domination. Beth Martinez returned from a diplomatic mission to a distant galaxy. They call us the Harmony Council now, she reported. 13 species working as one. Other civilizations aren't terrified anymore. They're hopeful. Jack looked at Earth through the viewport of the council station orbiting his homeworld. Children played in parks below, while ships from 12 galaxies patrolled peacefully above. The parents protected us while we grew, he mused. Now we protect others while they grow. The cycle continues. Zethra approached. Despite its crystalline nature, its movements had become almost friendly. You have changed us, young ones. Made us better than we were. You made us, Jack replied. But we made us too. Together. The alien's laugh sounded like wind chimes. The children of 12 galaxies have become teachers of 13. The universe is vast but safer now, and infinitely more interesting. As the sun set on Earth, it rose on countless worlds where new species looked up at the stars with wonder instead of fear. They knew that somewhere in the vastness of space, the children of Terra watched over them, guided by wisdom both inherited and earned. The apex predators had become protectors. The protected had become leaders. And the greatest experiment in galactic history had become the foundation for the greatest alliance the universe had ever known. In schoolyards across 12 galaxies, children of countless species played together, learning not just to survive but to thrive. The age of predators had ended. The age of harmony had begun. And at the center of it all, humanity continued to do what it had always done: adapt, overcome, and reach for the stars. But now, 12 galaxies reached back, ready to explore the infinite together.